Hey YouTube, this is NJ for Water 5, and what I'm doing today is making a few soldering irons, a couple of cordless ones and then a USB one. The reason why is because these are really simple, easy circuits, and here lately I've been on a simple kick. I've been trying to do a lot of projects that require next to nothing. I still got big videos coming out, long videos of course. Those videos are the Bluetooth speakers I built, a couple of batteries I built, a battery I built for my laptop. But those are projects that I've already done and I've already filmed. The editing on those can take me probably a day or a couple of days, and I got to find the time to do it. So for right now, I've been doing a bunch of these shorts, and the reason for the shorts is just so I can keep popping out videos until I can get time to do the extra long ones. Like I showed a sneak peek of my boombox on my Facebook page, and that seemed to grow a lot of attention. So I'm assuming once I start posting my Bluetooth, this should grow. But right here, what I got right now is two kinds of soldering irons. There's this. I've got a weller tip. Both of these are basically wellers. This one's Radio Shack, and this will fit a weller too. Both of these are 6 watt, or you can use up to 6 volts safely. I think I've seen a few people that went up to 9 volts on these, and they seem to say that when they use 9 volts, it didn't lose its heat whenever they were soldering. So, but I think I'm just going to keep it at 6 volts. I mean, I can always change it later if I want to, but on this one, I'm going to use the weller, I guess the weller plug. Looks like a plug that you got from the back of your TV, and I believe they fit the same thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I'm gonna use 2 batteries in parallel, a charging at the bottom, a TP4056, and a boost converter, CN6009, and I'm gonna have that set to like 6 amps, 6 volts. I'm gonna put a push button switch and a power switch along with an LED. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put this push switch yet. I may put the soldering iron tip a little lower instead of putting it in the middle, so that whenever I solder, I can kind of hold it. I don't want to hold the whole thing in my hand and have to, solder weirdly. So I think if I position it a little bit lower on here, it may work out a little bit better. So if I do that, then the push button will be up here. If I decide to go in the middle, I'll probably put the push button down here. But even that, so I guess right now it's still up in the air the way I'm going to put the push button and the way I'm going to put the tip. On this one is the same. I'm going to be using a screw tip. I got these for like, man, next to nothing. I think I got paid $6 for 10 of them. I have to take them apart to get what I need, and then I have to add a little plastic, I guess, a little plastic, whatever you want to call those. And then what I think I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna end up just drilling the hole for the positive, sticking it through, and then screwing from the back side into this, the negative. Well, it'll probably be something like this. I'm not sure yet. You got to make sure with these, because you want to drill the hole the exact size of your screw, because you don't want your screw to touch the tin if you're going to be using the negative that way, because then you'll have a short. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up drilling the hole about the same size as the hole in this negative down here, so that it fits in there almost perfectly. And then I'm also going to use some Captain tape or some kind of tape or something to I may even use let me see, I may use something like this, just clear nail polish, just anything I can use to keep it isolated from the other, from the negative. But that's going to be the main thing whenever you build them with them, like an Altoids case. Everything needs to be isolated. Of course, you need to make sure that when you have everything soldered up, you want to make sure that you isolate the bottom. Even probably smart to isolate the top, anywhere you got connections, just to be safe. I'll probably end up throwing Captain tape all on the inside, and then that should take care of any isolation problems. The same with my little one. The little one's going to be a USB one. It's only going to be running 5 volts, and I'm only going to make one of these. I might make one of these also, and then I'll be using the RCA jack like I was mentioning earlier. I'm not sure yet, but anyways, I figure I can do 3 real quick because they're real simple, real quick to do. It shouldn't take me no time at all, but I always say that and they end up taking forever. And then after that, I've got one of these, and this should be interesting. This is going to be, this won't be on this video, this will be another video. This one is a glow plug. So I've got a little system I'm brewing up for that one that I haven't seen nobody do yet, and I'm hoping if everything works like I think it's gonna work, it should be simple to build, and you'll have temp control of some kind. You'll be able to see the temp. Yeah, we'll see. So all right, let's get started. Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly let you guys know of a couple of issues I ran across. I'll try to make this fast. This is not the end of the video. I just, when you're doing DIY, you always run into problems. I want you guys to know that that's okay, as long as you can figure out how to troubleshoot it. First problem I ran across was I found out that TP4056 cannot handle these DIY soldering irons. I guess they tripped the overcurrent protection on there. So what I ended up having to do is I ended up having to take the tape off the side of them, and because the negative is the protection part of it, I just ran a solder bridge across there so that it's connected directly to the battery. This will still charge. The only difference is now it doesn't have protection, so you got to keep an eye on the battery voltage and make sure it doesn't get too low, or you're going to end up messing your batteries up and you have to rebuild it. Second problem I ran across is these little switches are hit and miss. I had connected it and it kept blowing the protection circuit again, which I know had to do with something else. So because I pulled everything out to find out what it was, I thought that it was touching somewhere. Come to find out, somehow this was touching the edge, and what it was doing, because I have this negative, I have the case negative, it was shorting out and the light was staying on. So what I ended up doing is I had to solder a couple wires onto this, and then I got a brand new switch, tested it, had the same problem, grabbed another switch, tested it, didn't have the problem anymore. So what I did is I soldered 2 wires on there, and then I added heat shrink to make sure they weren't touching, and it seemed to be doing the job. Right now I have these right back into glue. Once they dry, I'll wrap up the video with a quick video on how long it takes for each of these to heat up enough to melt solder. On average, I think they hit around 400 to 360 degrees, and it's gonna, I mean, I might, do a couple circuits or something, there's something to show them working. But I just want to test how fast they heat up, and then that'll be the rest of this video. These are pretty simple and easy to build, pretty cheap to build, and fun. So I'll be right back. All right, there you guys go. 3 simple, easy, portable soldering irons. I don't think I have the footage on here, but anyways, I tried to plug these in, and I put it in the back of here. I plugged it in and pushed the button, and the light came on just like normal. But then after a couple minutes, it like turned off. So I was like, okay, well maybe that's dead. So I tried the other one, plugged it in, did the same thing, and it's dead. Now I don't know if it's because of the battery that's in here. They have some cheap batteries that go in these things. They're kind of crap. I'll show you one. Some no-name brand, something of another. Anyways, I might swap these out and throw a different battery in here and see if maybe it makes a difference. Man, I might be able to turn one of these into a soldering iron. Anyways, yeah, I have a feeling it's the battery. It was just coming out by surprise, so I had to hardwire it into a USB plug and see what happens. Man, these things heat up super quick. I believe this one, I started it at 0.04 seconds, and I believe it was heated up at 20 seconds, so 16 seconds. This one was like 10 seconds, and this one was like 10 to 12 seconds, and that's heat up to melting solder. I'm sure to get up to like 300 or 400 degrees, well, 360 I believe it is, or 320. I believe it's 320 is the melting for solder. I'll have to look that up and throw that down in, you know, whenever I'm doing the editing. As you guys seen, the only issues I ran across was the TP4056 couldn't handle the current, and those little switches, they come, I mean, you get like 100 for like $5, so you know, you get what you paid for. Next time I won't cheap out, and I'll probably buy some better switches. But the first two that I had, well, it was good on this one, but the switch I threw on this one was bad, and then I threw another one on there and it was bad, and then, long story short, it was a switch. I fixed it. So those were the only issues I came across. I wanted to negative everything as the power and the push button, and that's only because I didn't want to shorten the battery if the positive shorted against the case or anything like that. So I negatived the push button and the switch, so that if there is any kind of short whatsoever, the light will go on. It won't be a short, and it'll more than likely deplete the battery and or destroy the soldering tip. But something I'll both know, something you'll see. As long as you have it off at the very back, you should be fine. What else? I mean, it's cut and dry. This is probably one of the easiest soldering irons there are. I figured I'd show you guys these. These are some soldering irons I did when I started 3 years ago. You know, I started building all kinds of crap, you know, experimenting with crap, and I seen people making soldering irons, so I thought, well, I'll try it a couple times. These actually work good, believe it or not. These are my first, they're just kind of like prototypes. These actually are really good on batteries. This one's actually really good on batteries whenever you're soldering batteries up. This sucker heats up super hot. This heats up pretty good, this heats up pretty good. And then whenever it was all said and done, I got to a point where I was making them like this. It's all globbed with solder right now because I tried to tin it real quick, but it looks like a actual soldering tip. Ain't no difference. That's a pretty easy tip. I might make a video later down the road somewhere showing you guys how I build these tips. These tips are so simple to build, easy to build, I guess. But I figured I'd share that with you. Yeah, these are kind of, they look like, these are kind of like, I don't know, some crazy looking contraptions. Alright guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will check you guys out in my next video.